What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look at the House Ways and Means Subcommittee on Social Security. And we're going to see what Mr. Bisignano, the new commissioner, Social Security commissioner, he's going to be testifying. So we're going to see what he has to say about Social Security, about call wait times, about reform for Social Security. Does he support an increase? All of this stuff we're going to find out. And this hearing, this is a long hearing. It's probably over 2.5 hours or so. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into some separate videos, but I'm only going to pull out the real important parts of this hearing. So I'm going to watch the whole hearing so you guys don't have to watch the whole 2.5 hours, and then we'll pull out some of the really important parts of the hearing. So if you guys want to learn more about Social Security, or at least how Mr. Bisignano sees Social Security, more about reform and all of that, then you're going to want to watch this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like this video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so here we are. Here's the House Ways and Means Subcommittee on Social Security. I always find it fascinating. Look at how empty this is. Look at all the Congress people that are not there. And what I find interesting about this is any other job, you would not be allowed to do this. Let's say you had a meeting and you guys were in the conference room. Everybody's in the conference room and you're listening to the whole meeting. These Congress people, you have what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This lady here I can't see, but she could be a congresswoman as well. So roughly 10 people that are at this meeting. And it blows my mind because, as I was saying, in a regular job, if there's a meeting and everyone needs to be at the meeting, everybody's at the meeting. What a lot of these Congress people do is they sit in their office and then they'll have one of their aides say, okay, it's your turn now. You can come out and you can ask your questions. And so it's your 5 minutes. So you can come out and do your 5 minutes, and they'll do their 5 minutes. And then guess what they do? They leave. They go back to their office. And so how are they learning anything about Social Security if they're just going to be there for 5 minutes so they can, and I'm telling you, when we're watching this, I will show you some of the Congress people. As soon as they're done, you're going to see people getting up and walking out. They're not even listening to the whole hearing. These people, these Congress people, represent you. How are they going to represent you if all they care about is their 5 minutes? They don't care about what else is going on and what other questions are being asked and what Mr. Bisignano, the commissioner, is saying about, answering some of these different questions. They don't care. It's just crazy to me. We allow this. We allow Congress people to do this, and it just blows my mind. We allow politicians in general just to really abuse the job, in my opinion. And not all of them, but you do have some. I mean, I will commend some of these people, and these Congress people are probably the people that are going up first, and that's why they're sitting there. But you should sit. It's 2.5 hours, 3 hours at most. You should be able to sit through that. But they're just not. Okay, so I'm going off on a tangent. We'll go ahead. We're going to listen to the opening statement coming from the chairman, and then we'll have Mr. Larson. And Mr. Larson is what they call the ranking member. So he is not the chair because Republicans control the House. So the chair is going to be a Republican. But Mr. Larson is the next in line to the chair. Now, if Democrats take back the House in 2026, then Representative Larson could be the chair in that scenario. Okay, let's go ahead and play it. Here we go.
Subcommittee will come to order. I'll welcome all our members, and I want to especially welcome Commissioner of Social Security, Frank Bisignano. I'd also like to thank the chairman of the Work and Welfare Subcommittee, my colleague Darren LaHood, and the ranking member of our two subcommittees, Mr. John Larson and Mr. Danny Davis, as well as our full committee chairman, Jason Smith, and Mr. Neal, our full committee ranking member. Today marks a first both for me and the commissioner, as he was recently confirmed and is making his first appearance in the committee room. Today's my first hearing as chair of the Social Security Subcommittee. However, neither of us is new or naive about the successes and challenges of the Social Security Administration faces. And I want to make sure that as we talk through what we do moving forward, that we address all of these issues. I look forward to working closely with the commissioner to improve customer service, root out waste, fraud, and abuse, and strengthen the program for current, near, and future beneficiaries. Today, it seems like a lot of politicians look for viral moments and quick sound bites to appeal to their bases. And this can be particularly true when it comes to talking about Social Security, which can easily be demagogued for cheap political gains. However,
I don't like cutting off when they're in the middle of what they're saying, but he's talking about these viral moments and the basically, what did he say, the talking points. He just said waste, fraud, and abuse. He just said waste, fraud, and abuse. And it's interesting to me because this is a soundbite that a lot of politicians are saying. How many times have you heard a politician say, we're looking for waste, fraud, and abuse, waste, fraud, and abuse? Okay, where is it? Will we find any waste, fraud, and abuse? Well, the commissioner is there, Mr. Bisignano. Will he talk about waste, fraud, and abuse? Hopefully he will. But it's just interesting to me when we're listening to Mr. Estes talking about Social Security and talking about politicians and viral moments and all of this, and then he just puts out that, waste, fraud, and abuse and doesn't go any further than that. And it's just amazing to me because some of these politicians will criticize something, and then in the next sentence, they will use the same thing that they just criticized. It's amazing to me.
However, I think it's safe to say that every member on this dais, whether Republican or Democrat, is concerned about this important program and wants to make sure that it remains available for those hardworking Americans and their families who have earned a right to its benefits. My Republican colleagues and I, along with President Trump, are committed to protecting Social Security and providing economic security to current and future beneficiaries. But in order to keep our commitments to our seniors, disabled workers, and their families, we need to have an honest dialogue with both the American people and amongst ourselves. Last week's trustees report reaffirmed what we've known for some time now. Without congressional action, Social Security's retirement trust fund will be exhausted in just over 7 years, which would result in the equivalent of a 23% across-the-board benefit cut. These programs are too important to demagogue. As the chairman of the Social Security Subcommittee, I will commit to maintain an honest dialogue about these vital programs, and I invite all of my colleagues to do the same. Keeping our commitments includes ensuring that Americans have reliable access to the services provided by the Social Security Administration, which brings us to the topic of today's hearing on improving and modernizing the Social Security Administration and why I'm pleased to welcome the recently confirmed Commissioner of Social Security, Frank Bisignano. I've been in Congress for 8 years, and I've placed a high priority on constituent services in my home district. The men and women who are constituent services representatives in my office have helped countless Kansans navigate the complexities of the Social Security Administration. And while I'm grateful for their work, it shouldn't take a call from a congressman's office to simply get the benefits someone deserves. Commissioner, it's evident that you and President Trump share my concern. There's still room for improvement, but the average speed of answer on the 800 number hit a high of 42 minutes in November of 2023. It was 16.7 minutes in April of 2025. The average wait time in field offices has decreased by 8 minutes since the start of the fiscal year, and pending disability claims have dropped below 1 million after topping 1.2 million in the summer of 2024. Again, these are improvements, but we can and should do more to make the processes more efficient for beneficiaries. I look forward to a robust discussion today with my colleagues and the Commissioner. I will now yield to the ranking member, Mr. Larson, for his opening statement.
Okay, so, that last part there, that sounds good. Services, looks like they're improving, according to him, and that's good. That's what we want to see. But in order for them to keep improving, you're going to need to have staff. And I know they switched over to AI, so you have the representatives on the phone, but then you also have AI. And I showed a video 2 or 3 weeks ago where you had this person, a reporter was calling Social Security to try to talk to someone about her not receiving her check. And it was basically giving the AI, the automated voice was just doing a loop, basically giving her information that she wasn't asking for and all this. So hopefully they can improve the AI. But with AI, yes, you will be able to get quicker call times because the AI can, the automated voice can answer the phone, and you don't have to wait for 40 minutes. And so that is good, but the AI has to be good enough to understand what you're saying and get you to the right place. And so that's good. So I want to hear more about that. But let's take a look and a listen to Representative Larson. He has his introduction. Here we go.
I thank the chairman, and I certainly welcome the commissioner, and I especially thank Commissioner for taking the time to meet with myself and Mr. Neal beforehand. As we discussed in the meeting in my office, again, which I thank you for the courtesy, and noting that you're from a family of 15 and I'm from a family of 8, I know that there's compassion that exists in that heart of yours for the nation's #1 anti-poverty program for the elderly and the #1 anti-poverty program for children until the child tax cut becomes permanent. Democrats have a plan. We've had one for some time. Our focus is twofold. There's an immediate urgency as it deals with DOGE and their access to the public's personal data, their medical data, their financial data, the concerns about their family. We discussed this when you came to my office. Our concerns remain deep and abiding. And as I said, Democrats have a plan. Because of the Supreme Court decision, it looks like legislation is required. Though the commissioner could deny them access to these, as Peter Finley Dunne would say, trust everyone, but cut the cards, and legislation is needed so that we can make sure that we protect people's personal data and information that is so vital and important to them. Our overarching plan is to recognize, and we discussed this, that Social Security hasn't been enhanced in over 50 years. Pretty astounding when you think of it, but imagine Richard Nixon was president of the United States the last time there was an overall enhancement of Social Security. And when you couple that with unqualified, unvetted, unapproved 24-year-old Doges who have unfettered access to people's records at Social Security, it creates an alarm. When I do district hearings or travel around the country, people are outraged by that. That's why we have a bill to stop it. We hope to get a hearing on it, Mr. Chairman, and a vote. And of course, I will ask for your support, Commissioner. I also think that it's become blatantly obvious to the American people that we are in the midst of and appearing right before our eyes the privatization of Social Security. We have put forward a plan. The plan is very specific and direct. We see no plan. We've had no hearing from our colleagues on the other side. 5 million Americans get below poverty level checks. 70 million Americans rely on Social Security. For 40% of all Americans, this is the only thing, the only pension benefit that they'll have. And we have done nothing? That is shameful. And I think everybody, as the chairman pointed out on this dais, agrees with that. And action needs to be taken. A vote needs to be taken. And most importantly, the constituents that were sworn to serve need relief. This is not the first time that there's been an attempt to privatize Social Security. It was done by Reagan, Bush Sr., Bush Jr., and now Trump. And when you're closing regional offices, when you're shutting down phone services, this is a prelude to what's happening to dismantle Social Security from within. Take away from the brand of an agency that operates the largest insurance program with under 1% administrative costs and serves more than 70 million Americans. I see I'm being gavelled because you can't get all of this in within 5 minutes, and it's why we need hearings. And what a joke that we can't speak more than 5 minutes, Mr. Chairman, on an issue as important as this is.
Okay, so I want to talk about the contrast between Representative Estes and Representative Larson. And so in the comments below, I want you to let me know, who do you think, Representative Estes or Representative Larson, who do you think is more, passionate about Social Security? Who do you think wants to improve the program? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll give you my opinion right now. You heard Representative Estes talk for maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 at that. He didn't use his full time. They have 5 minutes. He didn't use his full time. And he addressed the issue of services, basically, the phone services, how they've improved. But that was pretty much all he talked about. He did say a little bit about reform. Reform needs to happen. But what Representative Larson was doing is he was saying, look, yes, reform needs to happen, and we need to enhance Social Security benefits. Not just reform, we need enhancements to the program. They haven't seen enhancements since Richard Nixon. And so the time, it's well overdue. The time is now to actually improve Social Security. But as Representative Estes was saying, yes, we do need to reform Social Security or make some reforms to the program. But what is he offering? Is he talking about anything? And Representative Larson actually has a Social Security 2100 Act. He has a plan to enhance and improve Social Security and extend it out so you don't have to worry about the trust funds. And so that's the difference that I'm seeing here. You have one politician saying we need to make changes to Social Security, and this is what we need to do, Social Security 2100 Act, or just have a plan that will enhance the program. And then you have another politician just pretty much saying, yeah, we need to address the trust funds because they're going to be depleted, but not giving anything more. And then when you talk about services, okay, so the call times have gone down. That's great. But what else are you going to do? How are you going to improve the lives of people who are currently, the 70 million people who are currently receiving Social Security benefits? How are you going to improve their lives? And so I find that very, very interesting, just looking at the contrast, okay? And this is not about Democrats and Republicans. This is about who wants to help the program. And when we're just listening to the politicians, you tell me who was more passionate about Social Security. Was it Representative Estes or was it Representative Larson? Now, we know Representative Larson, he is at the forefront when it comes to Social Security. He is a strong advocate for Social Security, but I don't see that on the Republican side. And if you guys do, let me know in the comments below who is a strong advocate for improving and enhancing Social Security benefits on the Republican side. I don't see it. I've heard some politicians come out. I've heard some Republicans come out and say, yes, we should raise the full retirement age. We should look at making some cuts. We should waste, fraud, and abuse. We need to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. I hear that. But when it comes to improving, enhancing the program, providing an increase for people receiving Social Security benefits, name a politician right now, name a congressperson right now that's talking about that has a proposal that would do that. They came close. They came close when they were talking about no tax on Social Security benefits. That would provide an increase to Social Security benefits. But guess what? It's not in the big, beautiful bill. And they say, okay, well, there's some rules, the Byrd rules, keeping us from providing the no tax on Social Security. But what about a proposal? Do you hear a proposal coming out that's talking about no tax on Social Security? So in addition to the big, beautiful bill, they could have another bill that they pass that eliminates taxes on Social Security benefits. But you don't hear any politicians talking about that. The only politician that's talking about that right now is Representative Larson, because guess what? Social Security 2100 Act eliminates taxes on people receiving Social Security benefits. And so it's amazing to me when you look at, just put them next to each other, these two politicians, one's a chair, one's a ranking member, and you see the difference between how they're approaching Social Security. So I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.